Lies of P, a Souls-like centered around its great boss fights within the Pinocchio lore. My name is DrewSpacely, and today we're going to rank Lies of P's boss fights from most fun to most annoying. Now, before we get started, if you've been watching my videos and if you've enjoyed my content, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers before Halloween, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to this channel and continue watching my content. Thank you, let's dive into it. Number 15, the King of Puppets. Now originally, I thought this boss was a pain in my ass, but on repeated playthroughs, I've always beaten him on my first try. The key is to learn when to deflect like most bosses would in this game. Stage 1 is fairly easy, and once you get to Romeo, all you need to do is just slide to the left, like the cha-cha slide, to avoid all of his attacks. Overall, I think this boss has a great balance, and is the most fun to play against, and man, the name as the King of Puppets sure is fitting. Number 14, Fallen Archbishop, Andreus. Once again, on my first playthrough, like many of these bosses on this list, I thought this boss was infuriating, but once I learned to work with my advantages and use the fire grindstone for the first stage, and then to capitalize on deflects and heavy attacks, it becomes a breeze. As long as you stay on its back during phase 2, you shouldn't have any issues with this one. Overall fun fight and fun area. Number 13, Black Rabbit Brotherhood. Now, for this one, I coupled fights 1 and 2 together. Originally, once I realized this was a gank fight, I thought to myself, oh no, not again. Considering majority of the gank fights happen to be some of the worst in the Souls series, besides Ornstein and Smoke of course, that's goated. But once I learned to fight each one independently, it was a rather balanced and fun fight. The brothers of the elder brother doesn't have the strongest attacks, so that does help in this fight's favor overall. I found that blocking and deflecting and moments of punishing the boss to be rather satisfying, and considering you take down 4 at once, it makes you feel like a total boss afterwards. Number 12, Parade Master and Corrupted Parade Master. Just like the ranking prior, I've coupled the Parade Master and Corrupted Parade Master together since these are essentially reskinned bosses and share majority of the same movesets. These fights are very easy as you would think considering it is the first boss fight in the game, but definitely a worthy fight to achieve the number 12 spot on this list. Number 11, King Flame Fuoco. Now here is where my ranking might start to become controversial to some. King Flame does have some annoying movesets, with his ability to overheat you practically instantly, and him throwing tar all over the battlefield and launching hot coals at the player. But overall, I think his movesets are fairly easy to read, and his Fury attack is so easily dodged by just running out of the way, and it makes whatever was threatening within the fight actually a breeze. Once again, Perfect Block will be your best friend here. On repeated playthroughs in New Game Plus, one attack will ditch out half your health, so considering everything, he sits at number 11. Number 10, Stalker Minibosses. Instead of ranking each one of these separately, I've decided to couple all the Stalker Minibosses within the game into one ranking. These guys rank from pretty easy to pretty tough, but they never put up too much of a fight to where you'll really get stuck. Notable mentions are Red Fox, Robber Weasel, and Owl Doctor to name a few that I had the most trouble with fighting. Some of my favorite fights within Souls games are humanoid fights, but I cannot lie when I say that Lies of P, these fights are annoying as fuck sometimes, and they have constant attack patterns that seem never ending. Number 9, Scrapped Watchman. Scrapped Watchman was the hardest fight within the demo of the game, so most people probably already mastered this fight by the time the main game came out. But I cannot lie, when it comes to his attacks, that grab attack is super annoying to get grabbed by, and the constant electric blitz and lightning strikes you gotta deal with during the fight will get on anyone's nerves. In New Game Plus, this boss hits hard, so you better learn how to perfect block and when to dodge lightning, or else you'll have a rough time. Number 8, Door Guardian. Overall, most people would say that the Door Guardian is an easy fight, and I would agree, the Door Guardian is easy, but there's one problem with this boss fight. He negates almost all damage, and will kill you in 2 hits easy. This fight is a race to stun the Door Guardian, because 2 fatal attacks is pretty much all you need to take him out. Many deaths and long annoying runbacks puts this at number 8. Number 7, Champion Victor. Champion Victor has a lot in common with Horo Lu from Elden Ring, and the resemblance in movesets is almost uncanny. This boss is aggressive and hits hard. He even has a grab attack that will take almost half your health and will frustrate the hell out of you. During phase 2 is where most people will die, but once you learn his attack patterns, you'll find the perfect opportunity to punish this boss. Number 6. Laxasia the Complete. Laxasia the Complete is another two-phase boss fight within Lies of P. During phase 1, you'll encounter endless combos, and I found it super annoying on my first playthrough, but compared to phase 2, Laxasia will fly in the air and shoot electric balls at you. Now you can deflect these balls back at her, but if you miss the timing, it'll take a significant portion of your health. She does this repeatedly, coupled with seemingly endless combos, which makes learning this fight incredibly toxic. Number 5. Nameless Puppet. For most Souls-likes, the final boss can either be the hardest or the easiest. In Lies of P, the Nameless Puppet definitely falls within one of the hardest within the game. A badass design made me fall in love with this boss, but its endless combos make me wish the game had poise. This boss is the definition of aggressive, especially in the second phase. I banged my head against this wall for almost an hour and a half my first playthrough. Once you learn this boss's attacks, it is more fun and balanced experience, but getting to that point is a mental battle indeed. Number 4. Walker of Illusions. This is the point in the ranking where pretty much all these bosses can just burn in hell. Starting with the Walker of Illusions, I cannot stand this boss. You absolutely have to keep your distance as much as you can, considering how aggressive this boss can be, unless you have endless stamina or you've mastered its attack patterns. Not to mention, this boss can create multiple copies of itself to gank fight the hell out of you, and it's incredibly annoying at times. Fuck this guy. Number 3. Mad Clown Puppet. I hate the Mad Clown Puppet. Even on repeated playthroughs, this boss can rot for all I care. This might be one of the hardest bosses in the game, considering the arena you fight him in is covered with extra enemies with flamethrowers and bombs. Strategic play is absolutely essential to beat this boss, and then, once it's all said and done, you still have to execute and beat this bad boy. Oh yeah, and did I mention he has a gigantic ball he'll throw at you in the beginning just to bait a death or use a health item for your first time through. I'm honestly surprised that I have this guy only ranked at number 3. Number 2. Puppet-Devouring Green Monster. Man, this boss made my mental health suffer for the first time fighting it. Even on repeated playthroughs in New Game Plus, it still gives me a hard time sometimes. This boss has multiple attacks that will damage you while increasing your decay meter. Once filled, it will trickle down your health, all while taking away durability from your weapon. Juggling everything all at once while trying to add durability again to your weapon is a real chore. Not to mention, this is yet another two-phase boss fight for this game. In phase 2, he has a ramming move that is relentless and is hard to block down. Overall, this boss is a huge pain in the ass. Like, no bullshit, I hate this guy. Number 1. Simon Manus. The moment you've all been waiting for. Simon Manus. The most annoying boss fight in all of Lies of P. This fight can be the final boss of the game, considering what ending you get. Simon has a gigantic hammer and will drop tons of damage if you don't block perfectly. He has tons of health and is yet again another two-phase boss fight in this game. Once you get to phase 2, the fight becomes as toxic as can be. I banged my head against this boss more times than I'd like to admit. He has an insta-kill mechanic and lots of area effect moves, so you always gotta stay moving, and if you don't perfect block during phase 2, then kiss your ass goodbye. Simon Manus takes the crown for the most annoying boss in Lies of P. Now, thank you so much if you stayed the entire time. Let me know what you guys would rank in the comments section for what's the most fun to the most annoying boss fights in Lies of P. Please like, comment, subscribe, do anything you guys can to help me. I am just one guy, and I make these videos on the games that we love because it is my passion. Now, this has been DrewSpacely, ranking the bosses in Lies of P from most fun to most annoying. So thank you very much, and have a nice day. Peace.